Hey guys, and welcome to a new video today, and today I'm going to go over my wish list, hopes and dreams for Pokémon Legends Arceus. I also wanted part of this video to open a discussion on the future of Pokémon titles as well. My first hope is that the graphics and the overall artistic presentation get a massive improvement. In my opinion, all Pokemon games up to Sword and Shield have looked great and really pushed the hardware that they're on, with Sun and Moon on the 3DS being an example of looking great on outdated handhelds. For example, in 2017 with Ultra Sun and Moon, these were already outdated by the Switch, and I still think those games look great. For me, Sword and Shield looked really rushed and unpolished. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the game, I love Sword and Shield, but the game overall it just wasn't great, the graphics wise. And you could tell that the limitations of the Switch were really starting to show. With Legends Arceus, we can already see some frame rate dips, with Pokemon in the background, low resolutions, models and textures popping in and out, and we can show the Switch showing its age a bit here. I just hope that the game at least runs well on Switch. I know Breath of the Wild had some slight issues with Korok Forest having some frame rate dips and some long load times and things like that, but the game in my opinion still managed to run and look spectacular on the Switch. It's an amazing game, and I really hope Legends Arceus, because it's obviously using Breath of the Wild as an inspiration, I really hope that Legends Arceus also looks brilliant on the Switch as well. One other big wish that I have for future games in Legends Arceus is to have voice acting. I'm 99% sure that Legends Arceus won't have it, but in my opinion, all future games need voice acting, for Pokemon at least. Sword and Shield didn't have it, and it just looked very awkward with characters' mouths moving after text being skipped, and just no sound coming from characters' mouths. It looked very awkward. Breath of the Wild broke Zelda conventions by it being the first game to add full voice acting for the characters, and it really paid off with adding a sense of realism and personality to each of the characters and NPCs. And I just really hope that Pokemon games going forward, and especially Legends Arceus, will eventually have voice acting. I also really want the main towns and populated areas to grow with the game and story in real time. What I mean by this, in Legends Arceus, you will visit lots of different areas, with your character being mainly based in Jubilife village. Here you can accept lots of odd jobs and requests of different characters. In the gameplay shown on the screen right now that they released the other day, an NPC will ask you to catch a particular Pokemon, and you have to bring it back to them, or gather materials for a specific person, and then you get a reward for doing so. This wish for me is about being able to grow the village in real time by maybe doing a side quest, for example, for an NPC where the NPC wants you to gather materials to build a bridge. You then build the bridge in the town, and it makes crossing a difficult river easier, or supplying a shop with lots of materials so then they can sell more items in the shop for you, the player. I'd also like story events to impact how NPCs walk around, how they act, and maybe update certain things that NPCs say to you based on what's currently going on with the story in real time. I'd really like, though, for the overall storytelling to be good, because in my opinion, stories in Pokemon games just haven't been good since Sun and Moon, and they haven't been really good since Black and White. Sword and Shield felt very rushed and short story-wise. It was okay, it was serviceable, but for me it just didn't go in depth for the Galar region, which just hurts for me personally, because obviously the Galar region is based on the United Kingdom, and obviously I'm born and raised in England, so for me it just felt like a wasted opportunity really. I can already see some descendants of existing characters. For example, the main leader of the Galactic Research Society, who I'll put an image on screen because I can't remember their name, looks a lot like Cyrus from Diamond and Pearl. Obviously, they are a descendant of that character, and it will be good to see how they tie Legends Arceus into the rest of the games and the universe and the lore, etc. I also wanted to make a comment on the game's difficulty. So far I'm really liking the new battle system for agile and strong attacks and how they can be implemented mid-battle, but I really don't want combat to be too easy. For me, ever since X and Y, the games have just felt that they're getting easier and easier, with the last two generations in particular having a massive amount of hand-holding, those being Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, especially Sword and Shield. I want the option to skip tutorials and figure things out for myself. At the end of the day, I'm 23 and still playing Pokemon games. I want battles against wild Pokemon and characters to be difficult at times, obviously depending on the scenario, and really testing my abilities. I'd also like the ability to toggle on and off the XP share, as I think players should have the option to choose if XP share works like it did in the classic games, where it only gives one Pokemon XP after a battle as well as the Pokemon that you are currently using. Or you could change it so it's like it is now, so for new players they have the option to have the entire team gain XP and have an easier experience. I also really want to see new forms of existing Pokemon, and I'd really like to see some brand new Pokemon. I mean, this should be standard at this point, it's a Pokemon game. It wouldn't be a new Pokemon game without some new Pokemon to catch and discover to fill out the Pokedex with, and I'd really like these Pokemon to be transferable into older games and newer games in the series as well. Another small thing though is Pokemon Home. In the Sinnoh remakes, those being Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, we still don't have the ability to transfer Pokemon from older games to Pokemon Home, then to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. With Legends Arceus, I'd like to see this implemented actually for the launch of the game, or at least maximum I'd say a couple weeks afterwards. But realistically it should be there at launch. I don't really I understand that the fact that there's a lot of Pokemon to sort of manage. I think there's over 900 at this point, but it should be an easy thing to implement for launch. In Legends Arceus, I'd also like to see some more online elements similar to the wild area in Sword and Shield. The wild area, in my opinion, was a great idea that wasn't fully executed and didn't live up to its full potential due to graphical limitations. With the open areas in the new Hisui region, I'd like to battle friends, trade with people online, so as in Wonder Trade, and maybe participate in something akin to what the Crown Tundra DLC added with Pokemon Raids, where you could go through a random branching path where you must battle and defeat random wild Pokemon to get a chance to gain decent rewards at the end, i.e. being a legendary Pokemon or a rare starter to catch something like that. I'd also like the new world and region in Pokemon Legends to be interesting, with lots of stuff to see, with lots of stuff to do. I want lots of new faces to meet, lots of new quests to go on, and a compelling reason to explore every nook and cranny of the open world. Also, if we're getting an open world, please let there be fast travel of some kind. I haven't seen any yet on the map, but I'd really like some in general. One other thing I'd like is something like Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild, something that's a little collectible that you can go around and find other than the actual Pokemon themselves. But I would really like a collectible that actually gives me reason to explore the open world fully. Finally, I'd like more of a focus on the game embracing the fact that it's an RPG. We now know that the game will feature material trading and crafting. I'd like to be able to craft new clothes, items, Pokeballs, etc. Some of these things we've already seen in the trailer that you're seeing on screen now. I'd also like a focus on more complex battling, with options to upgrade physical attributes for our trainer to use in the open world. So for example, making a physical upgrade to our trainer that allows us to open some kind of chest or get past a boulder in some way, such as Rock Smash strength. Not tying HMs to a particular, actually as in putting them onto the move, but how they've been doing it with Ride Pokemon. We've already seen a few Ride Pokemon being implemented into Legends Arceus. I would love to see how this is implemented even further though. I'd also like some more emphasis on the open world itself and how we interact with it, so maybe some light puzzle solving or rewards for exploration, i.e. chests or something like that. One thing I love so far about Legends Arceus, however, is that they're trying to break the standard conventions of the overall Pokemon formula, like Breath of the Wild did for Zelda. I really do hope that Legends Arceus sets the standard going forward and hopefully inspires Game Freak and the Pokemon Company to make the next games in a similar style. I'd like future Pokemon games to be fully open world, with a similar camera system being fully behind the player and fully controllable. Similar battle mechanics where it's a mixture of turn-based combat that happen in real time in the overworld, and I'd like the games to look amazing. Future games I'm really hoping will look really great on improved hardware, because the Switch is starting to show its age a little bit, but don't get me wrong, I think the game, even Sword and Shield, I think to an extent still has a little that Pokemon charm to it. I think they just need to obviously put the games on better hardware, but that's more of a overall Nintendo thing rather than just Pokemon Company. So that's it for the video today. What do you guys want to see from future Pokemon games, and what are your hopes and your overall wish list for Pokemon Legends Arceus? I'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you for watching today. Bye!